Bills defense was not going to give Patrick Mahomes or the Kansas City Chiefs offense any chances in this one. The Buffalo Bills beat the Chiefs 24-20. I don't think it was the high-scoring game that we both expected it would be, but Bills fans can be happy about this one because when the Chiefs were down 4 with the ball, less than a minute to go, we all had flashbacks to that AFC divisional playoff game. And what happened? Von Miller showed up with the pressure, forcing an interception thanks to Taron Johnson, and the game was over. The Bills defense showed up big time in the second half of this game. So what was your difference maker in this one?
Well, it certainly had to be the defense. They held Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs to 20 points for the entire day. You got to think you're going to give yourself a chance to win under those conditions. And also, 2 turnovers. The Elam interception in the first half directly took away a touchdown drive or at least points from the Chiefs. And then to ice the game, Taron Johnson reading Mahomes' eyes, slipping in from the outside and stepping in front of that pass to pick it off at the end. Von Miller with 2 sacks, the second of which was absolutely right on time. And it forced them into a 3rd and long and really was a difference in the game. And then, of course, the pressure at the end, which he won't get any credit for except for we all saw it. And Taron Johnson was holding the football at the end of the play.
9 quarterback hits for the Buffalo Bills defense, 2 sacks by Von Miller. That is big time. We are Bills Postgame Live. We are brought to you by Wesley Clark and Peshkin, your diverse and estate planning attorneys. Your family is our business. Maddy Glab alongside Steve Tasker. And we would like to welcome in Von Miller to the conversation. Von, how did this one feel?
I've been at this same podium. And I ain't had no smile, so it's good to come in here and smile. It's good to do our job. Great team effort. It's my first time being back here in 2 years. It's a great stadium, great atmosphere. It just feels so good to go out there with my teammates to work towards something like this and to come out on top, man. It feels good. It's a great win for Bills Mafia, and we're gonna make the plane do backflips on the way home.
Can you describe what happened on the last play? You chased them down, and that led to a good result.
I don't even know. I was just trying to get there. Pat had been doing a great job of scrambling and getting away from a solid game, and we just wanted to. In my head, I'm thinking I just got to get him down. Made an inside move. He flushed out. And we had, Taron Johnson right there for the interception. So, great team play. It just feels good to go out there and do your job.
You said great team play, but you had the sack on the last drive. You chased him down. You had another sack earlier. Everybody said this is why they brought you here. Do you feel like you showed that today?
Man, honestly, every team that I've been on, that's why I had been there. Since I got drafted by the Denver Broncos, number 2 pick in 2011. That's why they brought me to go to the Denver Broncos. That's why they traded for me with the Rams last year. And, that's why I'm here. That's in the job description. It just feels so good to, come here with this great group of guys, man, and work so hard, put in all the sweat, all the long days in training camp, and to get here and come out on top is good, man. We'll see those guys again, so maybe we celebrate this one tonight, and we got a bye week coming up, and it's back to business.
Well, you obviously were here last year, but you probably, being in there and being on this team now, have a sense of what this win meant in terms of what happened here at the end of last season, but also what it could mean in terms of the race and positioning in home field.
I don't know what happened last year. I seen some stuff. My memory. I'm not sure. What's going on. I know what happened today, and we came out on top, and everything else is in the past. I think ignorance is bliss. I didn't feel that. I wasn't here. With these guys to go through that game, but I was here today, and I witnessed these guys work so hard, not only this week but all season long. Come out here and have success like this. I've been around, Josh, since March now. He came out here, he played his ass off. Our offense played their ass off too, and defense, we do what we do, man. It's a great team win from Coach McDermott and all the way to Coach Frazier. Coach Washington had us ready to go this week as a defensive line, and it's just a great team win. And I'm happy for Bills Mafia because they deserve wins like this.
I realize the regular season's not left to it here, but you're going into the bye, sitting atop the conference. Just your thoughts on that and your position right now.
Man, this is my 12th year in the league, man. There's a lot that can happen, between now and then. But I tell you what, tonight we're gonna celebrate this one. We're gonna celebrate this one. We got a bye week coming up. We'll debrief and see some of the things that we did good this season. some of the things that we didn't do so good, and get ready for a really good Green Bay team after the bye.
What was your assessment of Coach's dime package usage today? I mean, you turned to that a lot on third down today. You had some success.
But I wasn't sure. I'm just in a fortunate situation. They just say rush, man. I'm still trying to learn the defense. Honestly, I don't know who inside, outside of me. They just say rush, man, and it feels so good to, have success. I've came into this stadium many times, with my former team, and I don't remember the last time we had smiles in their locker room. So they've built a great team over there, and I'm sure this won't be the last time we see those guys. So, I don't want to get those guys any bulletin board material or anything like that. So when we see them again, they'll be twice as ready to play us. None of that. It was a hard-fought game today, and it came down to the very end, just like we expected it. But it was a great team win for the Buffalo Bills, and we're gonna celebrate this one tonight.
What was your angle of the hurdle? Josh's hurdle.
He did it again. I don't remember what happened at the game who won and lost, but I remember he did that last game too. So, he's just a creature, man, and a huge reason why I came here. All of these guys, man, from Coach McDermott to Brandon Bean, all of these guys, man. It's just an honor and a privilege to be these guys' brother and to be these guys' teammate and to come in and lead these guys each and every day. So it feels great.
The second week in a row, Jordan Phillips had one tackle. You look at the box score here and realize the kind of impact he had. He just moves people up front. What playing kind of up there with him? What do you see?
Man, I've always had a big Tom D tackle on the inside. I mean, whether that's Derek Wolfe or Aaron Donald. And now I got Jordan Phillips, Ed Oliver, Tim. So I need that guy on the inside, and he doesn't get the the respect he deserves. I'm sure they're not going to talk about it and stuff, but he's been fighting a hamstring injury. He's probably still not all the way in right now, but shout out to Jordan, man. He's a selfless guy, man, and no way I could have had any success out there without him or the rest of the guys, Taron Johnson and Tim Settle and Ed Oliver, all those guys. It's a team effort, to get a guy like Patrick Mahomes down for sure.
Well, all right, last one we got, Josh, coming up next. What is the challenge of rushing, maybe individually for yourself and as a team, against Patrick Mahomes? And do you alter your technique in even the smallest of ways to have had the success you did today?
Yeah, I mean, it's, you do what you don't. He's just so talented, man. He's going to take what you give him. If I go up the field, he's going to step up. If you're too heavy on the power, he's going to evade and go out the backside. So, honestly, I really don't know, man. I really don't know, man. I just try to get the best jump that I can on the snap. 77. Wiley, he played a great game. OBJ, the offensive lineman, OBJ, he played a great game on the other side, man. And when you got those guys like in front of you, man, you can't even see Pat, man. And they do a good job of, locking up and grabbing. So you don't know if he's inside. Then he could be inside and he can go back outside. He could be outside and go back inside. So, man, if I had the answer to that, I'd have 10 sacks today. I really don't know. You just got to keep playing. I know that for sure. You just got to keep playing. You got to take advantage of every single play that you get. They're going to make plays, but we just got to keep playing for the next one. And we did that as a defense and as a team. And it was a good team win for the Buffalo Bills. Thank you.
This week's game sponsor is Gabe's Collision. Get back in the game with Gabe's Collision, locally owned and operated since 1964, featuring 3 convenient locations. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook for more. It's time to get in our Microsoft Surface Player Spotlight. It's presented by Microsoft Surface, and we've got to give kudos to Gabe Davis for what he was able to do on 3rd and 13 when the Bills were backed up. What happened, Steve, and why was he so important?
On their 1-yard line, they've got to have it. It's a 3rd and 13, or they give the ball right back to the Kansas City Chiefs in great field position. Josh scrambles out right, stops short, and guns it to the 19-yard line. Gabe Davis on his stomach pulls it in, gets the drive started. Then later on in the drive, late in the second quarter, the Chiefs are bringing pressure. They were killing the Bills in the first half with the pressure. The Bills have an answer on this play. They block it up. Gabe Davis beats single coverage. Josh delivers it. Touchdown, and the Bills tie it up 10-10 going into halftime. Incredible drive there, a 99-yard drive, and started with Gabe Davis, ended with Gabe Davis.
We'll just call him Big Play Gabe because he had 3 catches for 74 yards, has become a favorite target for Josh Allen.
They actually took the lead on that, and then the Chiefs got the 62-yarder to go into halftime, which is, that's the way it went, 10-10 and a half. And you got to feel like, sometimes you feel like this, and the Bills have to feel like they won a game against a really good opponent when they didn't play their best. Now, I'm sure the Chiefs feel the same way. They didn't play their best today, but I'll say this. The Chiefs' defense was really a lot better than we gave it credit for here in Bills Mafia. They played extremely well today. Their pressure package really gave the Bills a lot of problems through the first 3 quarters of that game, and it wasn't until they nicked them with the big plays that they got out of it a little bit. But when they got into a pinch, the Chiefs came back with it. Kudos to the Chiefs defense today.
These two teams are like going in the boxing ring together when they face each other.
It's a
Who
great
is going to get the
game.
knockout at the end of this one? It was the Bills, 24-20 your final score. They're now 5-1 on the season heading into this bye week. Josh Allen at the podium answering some questions. Here's QB1.
How's it going, everybody?
See Vaughn right there, you know, obviously a lot of this team moving in the offseason. The plays that he was making on the defensive side of the ball, which was that kind of watching?
Yeah, I mean, the play speaks for itself. You know, I'm sitting on the sidelines, third down. It's like, come on, Vaughn. Come on, Vaughn. And, you know, sure enough, he goes out there and makes a bunch of plays. And I'm proud of our team, how we battled tonight. Obviously didn't start off how we wanted to. Guys just kept their head down, didn't panic, didn't blink, is what we like to say in our locker room. Trusted the game plan, trusted situational football, you know, and got a W tonight. That was our only goal to come in here, and if it's by 1, it's by 100. It's another win, and it's what we're trying to do each and every week.
Did any part of your brain think that Mahomes had a minute, 4 seconds there at the end?
I mean, anytime you're going against a quarterback like that who, you know, you can make an argue he's got the best start to any quarterback to ever play this game in the history of the league. You know, he's a special player. So anytime he's got the ball in the hands, you never know what can happen. But, again, credit to our defense for stepping up and making plays.
Josh, I know that it was a team win and all that stuff on offense, but when it came down to crunch time, it largely became a 2-man game with you and Stefon. Can you just kind of outline that last stretch of plays there before you finally hit Dawson in the end zone?
Yeah, just trusting him. You know, just trying to move him around, get him in different spots. They were doing a good job on defense of switching up their calls. You know, making it look like split safety zone. You know, going to post high, showing some man. You know, they switched it up on us quite a bit. They brought some good pressures tonight. They got home a couple times, so stuff to clean up for sure. But you know, when you get into that point of a game, you got to trust the guys that you rock with, and he is who he is for a reason. You know, so he works his tail off and does all the right things. We love him for that. And again, it took 11 guys on that field, though. You know, given each phase, I think our special teams did a great job too. You know, pinning them down and making some plays. So it was a great team win.
At what point did you know you were going to do the hurdle again?
I mean, it's split second. It really is. Again, just trying to make a play for our team. You know, given the situation there. Yeah.
Fire you up though? Like it has to, right?
I think it used to. I think, you know, I tried to stay as even keel throughout this game. Really, in any game I've played in my career, just try to be steady. Not get too high, not get too low. Just trust what was being called and just try to go and execute. And that was what was called right there. It was a quarterback run and just trying to make a play.
Josh, you talk about not getting off to a good start. You had that play in the end zone, third down, you hit Gabe, and that eventually was a touchdown. Was that a big play for you?
Which one here?
The second quarter, you
right before the half, or
right before the half,
the touchdown?
Yeah. No, the pass you were in the end zone.
Oh, on our end zone. Yeah. Again, Dorsey has a lot of faith in our guys to go out there and do the right things. You know, we protected it well. You know, moved off my spot a little bit, and Gabe did a great job of getting to the sticks and making a play. You know, it's not fun being back down into your own end zone, you know, the 1 or 2 yard line. But last couple of weeks, we've had some success. So again, just trusting our guys, and Dorsey's been doing a good job of calling it, trusting us, and you know, living with it.
You know, it's not a playoff game, obviously, but was there a sense of redemption when you got back to that locker room, beating this team in this place where it ended so badly last year?
No, not for me. I think some guys may think differently. I can't tell you. Nothing that we did last year translates to what we are going to do this year. You know, everything that happened in the past is where it is. So all we can do is focus on the next one, and today was the next one. You know, going into our bye week, and I don't know who we play in 2 weeks, but you know, enjoy this one and turn our attention towards them.
Josh, looking ahead then, I mean, the week-by-week preparation, the results on the field speak to the success you've had as a team with that. But, you know, did you have a greater sense of what this could mean in terms of home field advantage and implications? You talked about learning from last year and the importance of home playoff games. Does that resonate with you? at all on a day like this?
I mean, yes and no. We're just trying to be playoff caliber. This is the standard that Coach McDermott sets. Every game is big in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're playing a team that's 4-1 or 1-4. Any given Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, any team can win when you're on the field. These guys are, we're professional football players for a reason. Everybody's good. So yeah, it's the next one, and again, we got to turn our attention towards the next week.
When dealing with the crowd noise, though, was that a little bit of a refresher of maybe the importance of playing a home playoff game, just because you got to deal with that when you're on the road?
Yeah, it definitely puts a little more pressure on you. And again, this is a fun place to play because they get so animated and it's very loud on the field. But at the end of the day, it's loud for the defense too. So you can spin it both ways. But as long as we trust each other, giving a certain call, communicating well within the offensive line and the tight ends, it's hard for those guys to make checks and hear things too. So. Yeah, it is what it is. You gotta find a way to win.
Sitting as a more conference made the bye week a little bit easier to enjoy.
Definitely. Yeah. No, it'll. Guys, gotta be smart, gotta be safe. Obviously, the team above everything else, but get away from it for a week and try to clear your mind. I think it's necessary in this game. It's a long season, so to be able to get away from it and do something else, do some hobbies, whether it's golf, so fish, yeah.
Josh, how big was Devin Singletary? 17 rushes, 105 yards.
Yeah, he does what he's asked, day in and day out. Again, I gush over talking about Devin because he just does everything the right way, whether he's got the ball in his hands or not. The ultimate teammate, literally. Yeah, every time someone's in the end zone, he's probably the first one there to greet them. He's picking guys up off the ground. He's carrying out fakes. He's running his tail off. Again, I can't say enough about the guy and how much, I appreciate him and love him as a player and as a person.
Thanks, everybody.
Hey, guys.
Thanks, Josh.
Josh Allen is the first quarterback to beat Patrick Mahomes twice at Arrowhead Stadium. That is a very impressive feat, knowing how good of a quarterback Patrick Mahomes is and how good the Chiefs have been the last few years now. Second half, first half, they go into the locker room tied 10-10. They start to get some momentum going there with that touchdown late in the second quarter. Then the Chiefs kick that 62-yard field goal to tie things up heading into the third quarter. Missed field goal for the Chiefs when they got the ball. Then the Bills go ahead and score and go up 17-10. There were 4 lead changes in this one. When you look at the first half versus the second half and how the Bills are really able to course correct. I think that's something I've been very impressed with this team this season, is when things are not going right, whether it's offense or defense, they have done a really good job of figuring it out, whether it's when you go back to the sideline, whether it's in halftime, and truly changing and correcting what was wrong and being able to see a difference in getting more pressure and putting more points on the scoreboard. Yeah. So from offense to defense, what was the difference on offense? What was the difference on defense in the second half that really made a factor?
Difference on defense, I believe, was their penchant for rotating 8 guys in. As that game wore on, the offensive line got more and more difficult for them to handle fresh bodies constantly in pass protection. And on offense, I think the fact that Ken Dorsey dialed up some protection schemes that actually gave Josh a chance to have some success from the pocket. The Chiefs brought more pressure, I think, than the Bills anticipated them coming into this game, and they were really effective with it. Josh was having to get rid of the ball quick. He got sacked a couple of times, and I think up front on both sides of the ball is where the Bills really got better in this game. They figured out the protection, and on the Gabe Davis touchdown that we showed a few minutes ago, they blocked it up. And it gave them a touchdown. Later on in the game, Stefon Diggs, they blocked up the pressure and they got a touchdown. That got them out of that. And once they figure that out, the game turned into a couple of touchdowns. And on the other side, the fresh legs and the dogged determination of the front 4 made Pat Mahomes have to pull the ball down and scramble before. And the Bills DBs started plastering to those guys late in the down. Taron Johnson, the veteran,
what an interception by him.
He
jumps the route on a rookie.
He sloughed off on the outside receiver, his guy who'd moved outside from the slot. He watched Pat Mahomes, knew he was in trouble, knew he wasn't looking at his guy, wasn't going to throw it to his guy, sloughed off on the inside towards the receiver coming across. and picked it off. I mean, it's just a veteran play, knowing that the quarterback is going to go down or he's going to throw it to a guy up in front of him coming up and making a play. Tremendous play on that, and that was up front as well. And I say this too, Matt Milano continues to play at an all-pro level. He's an elite linebacker in the league. His open field tackling when players are out wide and when he's the only
he had some big one-on-one tackles in this game.
He has had some phenomenal stops, and he continues to be good rushing the passer as well. So, yeah, I think the adjustments they made in finding a way to protect against the Chiefs' pressure package that stymied them early in the game, and then the fresh bodies and the pass rush just being fresh as it can be late in the game really started to take a toll on the Chiefs' front five.
I think it also says a lot about this team. And this game was not their best game by any means. By any means. Even what we've seen from this team this season, the way they opened the season. And they were still able to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs did have some problems as well, but still, this has got to be such a big win and feels so good for this team who struggled on offense in the first half of the game and were able to correct enough, like I said, to finish off with a win. And this has got to be also a very humbling win for this team as well, because you face a team like the Chiefs, and there's a 90% chance you're going to face them again in the playoffs.
Right. Right, and this is a team, too. I don't think either of these teams feel like they played their best. And both teams came in nicked up. The Bills were getting healthier. They'd been through it already through the first 5 weeks of the season. And the Chiefs came in battered in their secondary. If these teams meet again, it may be two different animals in 4 months. So we'll keep an eye on the Chiefs, but hopefully we'll have a game up on them now with the head-to-head, and we can do it from 500 miles away. We don't have to look at those guys every single week. Great games between these two clubs. Bills come out on top today. They're going to meet again later on in the year, I would think.
We've seen some offensive shootouts from these two teams, and it was really about the defense in this one. Of course, this one is also going to be huge when it comes to playoff seeding. Fingers crossed people look back at this win and understand why it was so important as we get into January and hopefully February as well. All right, Dion Dawkins was answering some questions in the locker room, so let's throw it over to him.
Defensive coordinator dices it up. They put that ball on the they put our team. Let me take it back. They try to put us in uncomfortable situations. You know, they blitz the nickel, they blitz the corner, they run games. Like, that's just what, and they do. And they've been doing that, and they've been doing it a lot. So yeah.
It seems like you're most comfortable when the chips are down and 17 has the ball.
Of course. I mean, 17 is our guy. Like, we got to be most comfortable with 17 and the ball in 17's hand. That's what he's there to do, and that's our quarterback. We have to block for him so he can do what he does well, and that's these 17.
What's it mean to you guys to come here after what happened last year, now be in the driver's seat, to win this game here in this stadium?
You know, it'll be ongoing when you go to battle, man. You know, as long as they have Pat Mahomes and their coaches and their team, it'll be a heavyweight matchup every time. It's not going to change. We won in this time. You know, I'm thankful for it, but it's a 12-round fight every fight. You know, and I love it. You know, I really do. These are the funnest games that I've ever been a part of. They bring the best out of us. We bring the best out of them, and this is what the NFL is all about.
We were a few weeks removed from a lot of people saying that you guys couldn't win one-score games. Now this is 2 games in a row against top AFC teams that you guys did win one.
Matt, don't bring that stuff up. You know, it is and what it is. It's hard to score in this league. It's hard to win, and as long as we're putting points on the board, who cares what anyone says, man? You know, we left with a W today, so I don't want to think about no negativity. Appreciate you.
How are you gonna enjoy the bye week now after that big win?
You know, I'm gonna get a nice meal, man. I'm gonna get a nice meal. Probably treat 17 to something good. Talk to the rest of the big guys and kick my feet up, you know, and then get back to it.
You know, that bye always seems like it comes at the perfect time. I was hoping for a later season bye when we saw the schedule when it was released. But, you know, week 7, this team can continue to get healthier. Tre'Davious White started to practice this week, which starts his 21-day window to return to the active roster. They ruled him out early this week, and Sean McDermott said, you know, he's not going to play against the Kansas City Chiefs. We're going to allow him the time he needs still to get back into things. But the team is getting healthier at the right time. They went through it in the first 5 weeks of the season with how injured they were. So it's been good to see guys get back on the field. We know Spencer Brown came out of the game in this one, was spotted in a walking boot on the sideline. So hopefully a week of rest for him as they go into this bye will do the team right as a whole. Yeah,
coming into the bye, they should be, depending on what happens with Spencer Brown, 100% healthy facing the Green Bay Packers here on a Sunday night game. They were getting healthier coming into this game. We saw it. Jordan Phillips was on the field. Tremaine Edmonds was back on the field. Isaiah McKenzie was back on the field. Dawson Knox was playing. So they got some guys back in the lineup for this game, and obviously they needed all of them to pull out a victory in a tight game like this. But coming out of this first 6 weeks,
it was a gauntlet,
5-1.
It was a gauntlet.
They played the Super Bowl champions, the #1 seed in the conference. They played a Pittsburgh Steelers team. They played the Tennessee Titans. Baltimore Ravens, who are a playoff team. I mean, it's been a gauntlet, and they are 5-1 and humming along. So they're sitting in a nice spot. I think one of the things you got to think about now is they've got to stay sharp for 4 more months.
Yeah,
4 more months.
Still a lot of football left.
There's a lot of football
gone through
left.
6 games.
And it's going to be a roller coaster ride. But they've got to feel really good about where they're sitting right now.
So we know the fun second half stat that the Buffalo Bills defense had going into this one, just allowing 7 points. They allowed 10 points in the second half of this one. But in the last 2 minutes of regulation, the Buffalo Bills has still allowed 0 points on defense. So great to see a stat like that be kept alive, especially against the Kansas City Chiefs. One guy who helped keep that stat alive is Taron Johnson. Here he is in the locker room.
For me, it was just another game for me.
How much have you heard from other people who are going to let it be a big play? Like your family, friends?
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of that, but I'm gonna stay the same.
Jordan has said that he thought it was because of the situation, just such a bigger play. Like when you hear your teammates saying that too, what does that feel like, just knowing?
I mean, I'm just thankful to have great teammates, you know what I'm saying? And they believe in me, they trust in me, the coaches trust in me, and thankfully I was out there to make a big play.
What was your advantage on Kyrie's interception?
That was a great play too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He went up there and got the ball from the guy, so that was special.
When you go to playoffs against these guys, how much more confidence will you have now?
I mean, I'm always confident when I come on the field, you know what I'm saying? So pretty much probably the same. Just making sure that when my opportunity comes, I make the play, that's all.
When you guys are rotating so many guys on the secondary because of some of those bang-ups today and the injuries, just what was that like earlier in the game of navigating all the injuries too?
I mean, it was tough, but I mean, the guys that were ready on the sideline, they were ready, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't too big of a deal. They all have played in a couple games now, even the rookies, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I trust them fully. The coaches trust them and went out there and helped us get a win.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yep.
Peter King with NBC.
All right, that was Taron Johnson answering some questions from the media in the locker room after this big win by the Buffalo Bills over the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's been so fun to watch this secondary in the last few years. They have been together for so long together, and the way that they build each other up, especially with confidence. I've talked to a lot of guys in the locker room this week just asking about how they're helping build Tre'Davious White up as he's returning to the field. And guys like Taron Johnson say everybody builds each other up during practices, during games, and it really helps us perform in those big-time moments that you've seen Taron Johnson. You go back a season, 2 seasons, pick 6. He's had a couple of those, and he showed up for a really big interception today. And it's thanks to the film study. It's thanks to the defense that Leslie Frazier calls. Leslie Frazier deserves a lot of kudos in this one. It is really tough to call a game against a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes. You decide to not blitz. you decide to blitz, he's still going to find wins within the defense that you decide to call. And their ability to be able to really start to get that pressure on Patrick Mahomes in the second half of things, he just does such a great job in making sure his players are ready to go on Sunday.
At the end of this game, it looked a lot like we thought it might when the Bills were down 3 points. And they had to put that drive together at the end of the game to go in, and it ended in the Dawson Knox touchdown. Unstoppable going forward on fourth down. Josh Allen hurdling guys, and then ending up throwing an impossible throw that fit in to Dawson Knox, curling around out of the end zone when he looks covered. That's what we thought the whole game was going to be like. And in fact, it ended up that way because the Bills' defense we thought would be the difference maker in this game. At the end, it was. Holding the Chiefs to 20 points in Arrowhead, that's what you have to do. That's an enormous accomplishment for any defense. And these two teams are really, really good. And when they play together, they don't look. Both teams are like, wow, we should have done this, should have done that. They're both really good at making the other team look bad. The game was fantastic. 24-20 Bills win. But it was tension-packed the entire game.
You just know.
You just knew it. Because you know that,
like that
if you give them an inch, like when the first drive when the Bills fumble it away, what a crusher. And then the Bills answer with an end zone interception of their own. Man, this was a roller coaster for Bills Mafia, and I'm sure it was for the Kansas City fans as well.
Going into this game, it was the #1 scoring offense in the Kansas City Chiefs against the #1 scoring defense in the Buffalo Bills. They were tied 20-20 was the record for other games that went on since 1970. Well, it's now 21-20 for #1 scoring defense. Fun stat there. All right. Head coach Sean McDermott, he's at the podium answering some questions. Sean, how did this one feel?
Good to get a win, hard to win in the NFL. A good Chiefs team, well coached. Thought it was very competitive out there, both sides. We made some plays, they made some plays. I thought we fought through some adversity with some injuries, some untimely penalties. But the guys were resilient the whole game and came through in the end when we needed it most. So some big time plays there. So I'll turn it over to you.
I know you can watch the tape, but how important was Von Miller in this game?
Yeah, I mean you could feel him. Whether or not he was actually sacking Mahomes, he was affecting him. And then he did get him a couple times, I believe. So just you could feel him out there the entire game. So he was phenomenal.
Sean, kind of follow that. I mean, looking at the changes you made through the course of the offseason, acknowledging the way last season ended, whether it's Vaughn, you could point to Jordan Phillips, and you could probably suggest a few others who contributed to have the defense, make the plays they did at the end of that game. Does that speak to maybe the offseason moves you made, understanding it's just week 6?
Yeah.
But do you see a measured difference in that?
Yeah. I mean, you try and identify what you need to improve your team, and Brandon does a great job with that, and his staff the same way, and then acquiring those players to help you, that can factor in these games in the way that they factored. So it was good to see, and it's not easy. I mean, coming here #1 against this team, we've had our battles, and I was real proud of the guys and the way they executed in the final moments of the game there.
Taron especially, I mean, it's not the first time he's made plays like that. Just your initial reaction, I mean, Josh jumps up, he throws his hat off, he's ready to run on the field. Like, what were you kind of doing?
When Taron made the play?
Yeah.
Just saying glory to God, man. Honestly, I mean, that's where first of all glory belongs just to God. And we got a resilient group of guys, resilient men and women in that locker room that have worked extremely hard on the off season, this year, this week. Now we get a chance to enjoy the bye on a win, which I know my family will appreciate me being around after a win as opposed to the other way. So
that's an instinctive play, though, Coach, right? Because he peels off of his coverage assignment. He reads the quarterback. I mean, that's something that you need as an instinct as a player, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, you got to trust your instincts, and we talked about it a little bit before the game. And these guys prepare all week. They work hard, and then that's when you got to let it flow and trust your gut, trust your instincts.
Sean, you've had to play off a ton of guys this year because What have you learned about your team's depth over the 6 games?
Yeah, just like I said earlier, I mean, we've got depth, and now because of those players playing a lot, especially a lot of young players early. I mean, really, this is the first game, other than the first week, where we were more healthy than we've been, and so. But it was good to. We had some guys get hurt during the game. We'll see where it goes, but good to have our defensive front, I think, stay healthy, which was good to see. What do you want, Steph? Is my time up? My time's up. Everyone will be off, and you'll be there all week with me.
Coach, I don't have to tell you the job's not done yet, but how much easier is the bye going to be sitting atop the conference here after 6 games?
Yeah, we got a long way to go, Chris. But it is nice to get a win. Any win going into the bye. It's hard to sit 2 weeks on a bye. It's hard to sit 1 week. On a loss. It's hard to sit 1 week on a loss, let alone two. So, like I said, my family will appreciate this win in more ways than one, so they don't have to put up with a miserable dad at home for 2 weeks.
One of the things that Josh said that kind of stood out to me, obviously trying to put last year where it belongs, but he said it underscored to him the importance of home playoff games. And whether you addressed it or not, did you collectively maybe have the sense that ultimately today's outcome could potentially determine that?
Down the road. I mean, that's obviously down the road, and yes, but down the road. I mean, right now we just got to get some rest this week. We'll get in tomorrow, watch the film, wrap that up the right way, and then give the players and staff some time off, and much deserved time off. We've been banged up, as was mentioned earlier, and so it's good to get some time.
Dawson is one of those guys who's been banged up. He's fought through a lot this season. For him to come through there at the end, what did that mean for yourself and for your team?
Yeah, you watch guys go through the journey of life, right, off the field, and he's been through it, and he's stuck with it, been resilient, and then he's been banged up a little bit. And you just knew his time was coming. You just knew he was going to make a big play, and he did. And my hat goes off to him.
Sean, maybe you got used to it. Maybe you got used to it, but when Josh hurdled, what were you thinking?
Yeah, I was thinking stay in bounds, run the clock. Right. Next time, don't hurdle him. I should have told him as he was running by me. It's just the game's always going to come down to the final moments with these quarterbacks, with Patrick and Josh, and so you want to get the points there, and obviously Josh made a great play. It was fun to watch. Both those guys are elite players, good for the NFL. We're fortunate to be around Josh and watching him grow and develop into what he is now, and I'm sure Andy in Kansas City feels the same way about Patrick. So thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Alrighty, that was Sean McDermott joking with Stefon Diggs about how the fact that he would have to be in here all week for his bye week. So let's send it over to Stefon Diggs to close things out for us tonight. Oh, we are waiting on Stefon Diggs. So
maybe he's got to put a shirt on.
I guess he answered some questions.
Yeah, it's interesting because the bye it's an enormous deal for the players. It feels like you get a month off. Just a few days seems like a long time because your schedule is so regimented through the regular season. These guys are creature of habits. So when you can throw a couple of days off in there, it really feels like a mental break for these guys. And round about now, they could probably use it.
I think one thing that's interesting, too, about the bye week and the evolution of Sean McDermott as a head coach in Buffalo, bye weeks are a little bit different now that he's been here for 6 years, and he has an older group. When this group was very young, they would have to come in and do some things in the front half part of that week, and then they'd really get a longer weekend. Now with an older team, Sean McDermott has done more in allowing them, okay, you actually get the whole week off, or hey, come in here on Monday, we're going to go through film, you're going to do rehab, and then you are off Tuesday and on. I'm not sure what the exact schedule is for them this time around, but he has given these guys really almost a week off, which is so great for the guys to forget about football for a week, to heal, and to get ready for really the middle to the end of the season, because there's still a lot of football to play. Stefon Diggs, I was going to say Sean McDermott. Stefon Diggs is answering some questions at the podium right now, so let's send it to Steph.
Here, I'll put it back, say I trust that guy implicitly, but when the game's on the line and it's third down, he's looking at you time and time again. What does that what does that instill in you with that relationship?
It actually gives me a level of comfort just because I put a lot of time in as far as like with my craft, and what I'm trying to do, not only for this team but for myself, pushing myself, challenging myself, and in those moments you want the game to be on you. You want your quarterback to, trust you. So it actually gives me a level of comfort and actually puts me in a different space mentally that I'm out here for a purpose. I'm out here for a reason. I'm saying he's counting on you. So, and as you can see, like Josh has that energy that makes you want to play, makes you want to play harder, makes you want to get open and catch the ball from him. So it's the opposite of feeling like pressured, because pressure is something that you're not really ready for. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some people call it like good pressure, but for me, I just feel like it put me in the right mental state of he's counting on me and I'm ready.
Because pressure would be a normal feeling there, because that fourth quarter, you guys got stopped on your first two drives. So, I mean, that was it. That was going to be your last time on the ball. You knew that, right?
Yeah, it's crazy because it's like we've been there before, and in those moments, like it seems like not even deja vu. It seems like it's something brand new. But on the other side, like we're prepared. We've been here before. We've battled through the storm multiple times, good and bad. Sometimes it didn't really go our way. So as far as like us having the poise and having that, I guess, like that energy of we got it. You know what I'm saying? I talked to Mitch Morris after the game, and he was like, that poise that I bring to the huddle, because it's like we put in all the hard work. The game is going to have its ebbs and flows. Don't ride the roller coaster. So kind of permeates in a way.
Austin's been through a lot, personal tragedy, some injuries that he's fighting through probably at the moment. For him to step up at the end there and make that play, how good did the locker room feel for him?
It's huge. It's just like damn, like a guy like that. Mental health is real, and he's balanced some things. He had some things happen earlier in the year, and he leaned on his brothers. Like he could have took some time away from football and really spent it with his family, and he decided to continue to play, continue to be around the people that that love him, and to see him just triumph. A moment of rejoice to be like this. Damn, a guy like that battling hard each and every day, regardless of what's going on in his life. It kind of gives you like a damn, like he has the courage and he has the will to just be like, I can do it. And trying to just love him up and keep him in that good space. So to see him have a game with a touchdown, it was like this. Okay, Knox.
You got a score with a minute to go. With what happened last year in the postseason, you get over the sideline, start doing some calculations on the math in your head, how much time's left and all.
Well, I can't. I mean, I just kind of look at it as I'm leaning for the defense to do their job. As always, they do a great job. They've done a great job so far this year. Patrick Mahomes has held like 20 points, and that's not usual. He does a great job. He's a hell of a quarterback. So to see our defense, kind of show up, especially Vaughn showed up big. All our defense, Taron Johnson, those guys. Like I said, we've been here before, but we're prepared. We're ready for whatever they throw at us, and to come out on the other end always feels good. So I look at it as, and we'll enjoy this 24, but I don't do the calculations because I can't go and cover it. So I mean, I could. But.
After that touchdown, you came to the sidelines and you passed Vaughn and said something. What did you say to him? Or
finish the game. I mean, that's what he's a hell of a player. He's a superstar. He's one of those guys that you lean on. Especially, I feel like we had watched basketball, the Dream Team last night, as far as like somewhat of a motivation and kind of put us in the headspace of we're ready for the moment. The guys that's called upon when it's time, they're going to show up, and they did. It's just like, I mean, I don't want to compare it to the Dream Team. That was a hell of a team, but Vaughn is that guy that we'll lean on, and those players that we needed to make big plays when it matters most, and he did that. So, 40 clip.
Did you just watch clips, or something specific on the Dream Team?
It was the last 10 minutes of it. So the whole last 10 minutes, as far as like how they band together against Spain, and Spain was fighting. That was a good team, and I was just like this, damn, to see guys kind of, all those guys were superstars. Not one guy was not that guy, especially on their team, but to see them band together in moments where it mattered most, and just lean on those that you trust, and everybody do their part. So kind of like trying to like make it translate.
You've been around Taron long enough to know he's going to turn in a big one every now and then.
Yeah.
This is right up there. I mean, maybe short of the 101 against Baltimore, but
yeah, that was a little bit different just because it was the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? But Taron Johnson is a hell of a player. I see him I see him in during the week just really work on his craft. Like that's a guy that you can see, that you can trust, and to be at the right spot at the right time. Football is going to be football. So I always count on Taron. I told him he was going to get one earlier in the week. So I'm Miss Cleo, obviously.
I know it's a long season. You see one-on-one matchup?
Yeah, what's up with it?
Say automatic?
Nah, I mean, I don't say automatic, but I trust that my quarterback sees what I see and give me a chance, because like I said, I put a lot of time and effort into it. As far as with the one-on-one matchups, I like me always.
And I know it's a long season and it's not the playoffs, but in this moment, in this place, does this one feel a little different for you guys?
No, I mean, like I say, every year is a new year. If I bring it up, it was last year we won in the regular season. So as far as winning isn't something that you want to hang your hat on just for the rest of the season. I'm saying we got a long season ahead of us, and it does feel good right now. It's supposed to. I'm saying that was a great team, a great defense, a great offense, and it just feel like we're in that space of if you're a good team, you got to beat the good teams. And as we approach it each and every week, we want to win, trying to get one in the win column. So it's it'll feel good, but see you next week.
To be clear, was that the Redeem Team documentary, the one with Kobe?
Yeah, but that's why I said we ain't nothing like them. That's a very different team. Thanks, Bob. Go ahead.
You said one thing, how Josh makes you want to be better and makes others around him want to be better. Whether it's putting the ball where no one else can get it, like on the touchdown of Knox, or jumping over another defender today. Those are two examples that we see from up high. But take me inside that comment a little bit about maybe your relationship and inside the huddle.
It's just the personal relationship kind of carries over to the business. You know what I'm saying? Because football is a business at the end of the day. You kind of got to keep it that way. But it's hard to when you got a quarterback that you see out there. It's back in the day when he's giving it everything he got, it's damn, you want to play hard for that guy. You want to make the plays for that guy because he's giving it everything that he has, especially from the quarterback position. He's leading our team, and he's leading it the only way he knows how, and that's being a dog. So, MVP.
Thank you.
All right, Steve, listen to this. Stefon Diggs tonight, 10 catches for 148 receiving yards, 1 touchdown. The previous game that the Bills and Chiefs played, the divisional round playoff game, Stefon Diggs just had 3 catches for 7 receiving yards. That was another huge difference in this one. Josh Allen and Stefon Diggs, that connection has been on fire this season. It's been like the first year that they were together when Stefon Diggs had all of those receiving yards, receiving touchdowns, receptions, ranking really high in the NFL, #1 in a couple of those categories.
Yeah, and this team, it really seems to be clicking on all cylinders, but getting Steph, you think about this game, you can think of all the catches he made, and they were huge. And every catch and every play in this game had monumental impact because it was so close. It was a one-score game all the way through. They were tied after the first quarter, second quarter, and third quarter, and both teams scored in the fourth quarter, and the Bills forced the Chiefs into a field goal instead of a touchdown, and the Bills scored 2 touchdowns, and that was the difference. So, yeah, every catch Steph Diggs made, you may think of a couple of them that were absolutely critical to keeping drives alive. And, you just can't say enough about it. Certainly, I don't know that there was an effort on Josh's part or Ken Dorsey's part to say, listen, we got to get Diggs some more catches tonight, but it certainly worked out that way. And I think the emergence of Gabe Davis in the last time these two teams played, plus the catch he made early in the first half for the touchdown, didn't make them say, all right, forget it. If they want to beat us, Gabe Davis isn't going to beat us anymore. And they started giving him a little bit more attention, which left Diggs a chance to get open. Now, the one huge third down reception he had, he was doubled. And Josh gunned it in there anyway, and it was a completion, first down, let's go. Can't say enough about it. But in a game like this, you can go down a laundry list of plays and particular moments in this game that were critical because that's how close the game was throughout.
Big-time players show up in big-time moments. Josh Allen, Stefon Diggs, Von Miller, Matt Milano, Taron Johnson. I could go on.
Kaiir
Elam. So many guys on this team really showed up when they needed it most, and that says a lot about this team going forward. All the games left. They've got a bye week, and then they're going to face the Green Bay Packers. That's going to do it for us tonight, though. If you guys want more highlights, more sound, a little bit more analysis, make sure you turn on MSG tonight at 11:30 because Steve Tasker and I will be breaking it all down there. One Bills Live tomorrow, 12 to 3. 3 hours unwrapping this epic game. We want to thank you for joining us here tonight. For Steve Tasker, I'm Maddy Glab. Go Bills. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys, and happy bye week.